FAANGool La Gotz. Fang. We'll start this screed about Fang. How many of you guys have a hedge fund manager that you've been paying 2 and 20% to, whose brilliant, mind-bending investment strategy was to put you 100% into Fang? Most of the hedge fund community, that has been their sole trade for the last 3 years. Long Fang and short volatility. Go ahead and start with Facebook. The latest Facebook scam that came out this week was Zuckerberg telling people who wanted unauthorized credit purchase refunds to go get zucked. It turns out all of these games, the Farmville, the Minecraft, the this, the that, I don't know the games because I don't play them. But apparently you're able to buy weapons, enhanced weapons and gadgets with these things so you can get more points. And what they found was the average age of the people playing these games are 5 years old to 7 years old. And they wanted that enhanced flaming sword of Damocles or what have you, and would just buy it, not knowing that they were buying it, and not knowing that mommy's credit card was linked to it, but they would just click on it and get it. So you give a 5-year-old a credit card and a bunch of flashing buttons to push. What could go wrong? Some of these parents opened up credit card statements to find out they had $6,000, $7,000 credit card bills to Facebook. Go figure. So we'll use a weekly on these charts just to eliminate a lot of the noise. Facebook has gotten up through resistance. Now this had been support going back to March 29th of last year. But, you know, it fell through that starting back in mid-July all the way down to that death blow in December. They're cranking just above it now. That number's 149.19. There's your Livermore pivot point right there. If it can get through it, I don't know if it will. There's nothing really overhead until you get to its 200-day simple moving average. And what I would ask you to note about the 200 on Facebook is the slope of the moving average. It's losing altitude. The most recent week's candle is this thin, long-legged doji candle, which, since there's no real body to it, tells you it was a week of indecision between the bulls and the bears on Facebook. You could argue, of course, that the long lower shadow is bullish. The bulls pushed the bears back, but it only pushed it back to that stone wall of failed support, which is now resistance. It's well above its 50-day moving average at this point, so there's some more support there. One point of caution is money stream has flattened and is starting to go flaccid. Money is leaving Facebook. Volume for all of January, since the December bloodbath, has been weakening, and it's staying at or below its 200-day moving average for volume on Facebook. Amazon, the everything store, whose patriarch is the richest man in the world, and he's also about to set the record for the most expensive piece of ass in human history. $76 billion is what that new girlfriend is costing you, Jeffy. Godspeed to you. I'm curious, his soon-to-be ex-wife, who's going to get the $76 billion in Amazon stock, is she going to have a seat on the board of directors? Inquiring minds want to know. Facebook is getting a little bit sandwiched here between its 50-day moving average, not Facebook, Amazon. Take two. Amazon is getting trapped between its 200-day moving average and its 50-day moving average. This week's candle, like the Facebook candle, is a doji with a long lower shadow. We claim that's bullish, but it's not getting through that 200-day moving average. If this candle was the same shape, but it was higher than last week, and it was sitting up here someplace, that would be called a hanging man doji. And a hanging man doji, the interpretation in Japanese literature, is if you buy up there, you'll be left hanging. Okay, so support, resistance, very close together on Amazon. Livermore pivots, 1361.58 is a minor one from last March. Longer term, 1305.22. So you got double support for Amazon in 1305 to 1361. Like Facebook, Amazon is losing some money stream here. And for the first time since really October, November, December, and most of January, volume is below the 200-day moving average on Amazon. Apple, once the big dog. Once the big dog in FAANG. Now, well, I don't know what to say about Apple anymore. Personally, I think it's going to go the way of America Online and Microsoft. Microsoft, who's got better gadgets these days? Would you rather have the hopped up Surface tablet, or do you want the iPad Pro with the Kung Fu grip? Tim Cook, as we've said many times before, no visionary, just an industry leader in engineering corporate buybacks and non-GAAP or not generally accepted accounting principles to report his earnings. And now he's not even releasing iPhone sales anymore. iPhone 10, X, whatever, 11, whatever the latest whiz-bang iPhone is, has been knocked off by the Chinese to such a degree that you can't even tell the difference in features. And what does that Chinese phone cost? About $400. Apple's clawed its way up from that December low, 142.31. It got through another area of resistance from the week of February 9th of 150.33, and it's climbing, but it's about to slap its head right on its 50-day moving average, which is up around 160.69. What's interesting about this February low, and I can't explain it, there was almost always, in the 26 years I've been doing this now, there is almost always a February event for Apple. Quite often there's also an October event for Apple, but it seems every year you get an Apple event in February. So we might want to be looking here with bated breath over the next few weeks. Volume is falling off in Apple. Not surprisingly, it's falling off in all of FAANG at the moment. VIX. This is the NASDAQ VIX, not the traditional VIX that we look at. 21.78. Its high for last year was 29s. And of course, we did hit 34 during the Christmas Eve massacre. Across all of them, not just for Apple. So resistance at 160.69, support for now at 150.33. Lastly, 142.31 on FAANGool. Netflix, I don't have a lot of insight on. Don't know too much about it, although I love watching it. It's great programming. Got that 18% subscription rate charge increase a couple of weeks ago. Sent the stock screaming. Sent the market screaming. It was all good to go. And then, not this week, but the previous week, a shooting star doji came in on the Netflix Weekly. Shooting star is a harbinger that the trend is over, but it bounces right back this week with that long lower shadow. But again, a really thin doji. We're starting to see a pattern here, aren't we? Money stream is leaving Netflix. It's got good support at the 311 area. If it gets above this 200-day moving average, 387 is a very serious Livermore pivot point. But for now, over the past 3 weeks, it seems to be vibrating to that 200-day moving average. Volume had been great through December into January into last week, where it just falls off right back to a 200-day moving average on volume. Google, Alphabet, whatever the hell they want to call themselves, they'll always be Google. Lots of really nice, beautiful money stream coming into Google since the Christmas Eve murder and massacre across all of the markets. Very sharp V-street bottom, and it's still excellent angle of attack going up. Here we are again with the same weekly candle as we've seen now across all of FAANG. Very small doji with a very long lower shadow, ostensibly bullish lower wick. The candle from this week is basically a stalemate on Google. It's trapped between its 50-day and its 200-day up here at 1117, which is where it peaked out more or less the week before this one. But a stalemate on Google for now. Google has its own VIX. So does Apple, and so do some of the others. But look at how much higher volatility on Google is than the basic VIX on the NASDAQ. The only other thing I would say about Google, the evil empire, which is what they have become, notice that Russell is flattening out on Google, and could be an early warning sign that things are going to stall, if not reverse. Our 2 layers of support, actually there's 3. You've got the 50-day right here at 50-day moving average support at 1,053. You've got the February 2018 low. It might be January 2018 low at 992. The December low at 971. Again, hard resistance on Google around 1117. If it gets through that, and wouldn't that make you Bullwinkles happy? If it gets through that, it's a clear shot back up to that mid-2018 all-time high on Google. And there you have it, friends. Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google, all pretty much showing the same technical characteristics. I am King Cambo. Smoke 'em if you got 'em, and that's how I roll on FAANG, baby.